Las Vegas, that's correct.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what Reef and Trike is and what you guys do.
Okay. It's a vertically integrated medical marijuana company. As most people probably know, that it just went recreational in Nevada.
Okay.
And
hallelujah.
Praise the Lord. So we're expecting around July in 2017, you'll actually be able to purchase over the age of 21 in a recreational market, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where California's tracking. Do you guys have any idea on implementation?
2018 is what we're being told.
Yeah, what do you look at 2020, you said?
2017, middle of.
Really?
Next year?
Yeah, Nevada likes to make money,
year.
so they're fast tracking.
Yeah, we like Nevada, baby.
Yeah,
they're
they
gamblers
need to get more
over
money
there.
on the tables.
So I'll just give you my story quickly in a nutshell.
Please do.
I was a farm kid in Montana, born and raised. 2008 rolled around. I had a real estate company. I think we all know what happened in 2008.
Yeah.
I was there. I was in Vegas.
We were there.
So, I just was looking around for a big opportunity. I was a cannabis user for medicinal purposes, and I decided to try growing cannabis in my garage with a couple of lights in 2008. Ended up 10 months later with one of the largest cultivations in Montana.
Nice.
Yes.
So when you say started, what did you start with? How many lights?
2 lights.
2 lights. And how many?
And I was, I felt like I was a pretty smart business person, so I said, how hard could this be? I'll put some seeds in some dirt, and we'll grow some pot.
Yeah. and then you grew it to how many lights?
I grew it up to about 600 lights.
Wow. That's an entrepreneur for you guys.
So to us laymen out there, how many plants does that equate to in terms of growing?
Oh, man.
How many plants?
It's a long time ago. Lots happened since then.
You can do whatever you want. I mean, it could be 1 plant per light or 50
there was plant counts in Montana at the time, and you could have 6 plants per patient that you were a caregiver for.
Right.
I believe we were in the 1,500 plant range.
Nice. That's helping a lot of patients.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, Montana legislation went back in and reversed the laws. It was the first state in the union to ever do so.
Wow.
To ever go back on the marijuana laws. So I had to
leave,
renegotiate my game plan, if you will.
Yeah. As do a lot of people.
Ended up in Arizona.
Right.
2011.
Did you win the lotto?
I did win the lotto. I won a license out there. Started a company called Bloom. Ramped that thing up real quick.
Right.
Started to get a lot of attention from, big money on the East Coast and whatnot. So I ended up partnering with a family out of Florida.
Good.
And that's where we started Trike in March of 2014.
And Trike is?
Trike Companies is the holding company and also a brand, and then Reef Dispensaries is the retail outlets or the front end of the company.
And what does the brand Trike represent?
Trike is short for trichome with, change the spelling up a little bit.
Nice, smart.
Yeah,
I like that. I always wondered that. Trichome.
For our lay
what is a trichome? Right?
Yes, please.
What is a trichome?
Yeah,
yes.
For the people at home. Right.
A trichome is a crystal on the plant that holds all of the THC, which gives you the psychoactive effect of the cannabis plant.
Oh, and that's where the THC comes from.
So for the people at home, when you're touching the nug or the flower, for that matter, and your hands get all sticky, you're basically ruining. you're taking away your high, and it's all sticking to your fingers, right?
That is correct. So be very cautious.
Yeah. It's better to just
the least touching, the better.
Yes, very true.
In this certain circumstance.
So did you always, dream of growing up to be a pioneer in the cannabis industry, or what?
I never knew in a million years that I was going to be a pioneer in the cannabis industry. I started business from an early age. Maybe sophomore in high school is when I started my first company. I just saw a huge opportunity here. And the benefits of helping all these different people was another big thing for me.
A partner of mine, it's funny, and I think we spoke about this backstage, but we were looking into just people that have accomplished a lot, right. and so I was looking through it, and I'm diving through it, and I found you. And I kind of did a little homework on you, looked you up a little, and I go, wow, this guy's really killing it. He's doing a great job. And so, I have a tendency to try and find like-minded individuals to get myself around them so that, if I feel like, oh, they're doing better than me, right? So how can I align myself with that guy versus the guy that's like trying to catch up to me, right?
Absolutely.
And so when I found you, it was like my partner, the founder of Modern Martini, and he says, he goes, hey, we should find this guy, Mathew, Morgan. And I go, well, dude, he's on the show next week. And literally, it was just like, out of the thin air. Like, he literally said that. And then a lot of people they don't know exactly who you're dealing with, right? So if you just walk up to somebody and you're like, yeah, I'm in the marijuana industry, you're just like, yeah, you and everybody else.
Who isn't?
Yeah, and then it's like, were you at the Vegas convention?
Oh yeah,
of course, right?
So it was a zoo around my around one of my facilities.
Well, yeah, I think I got invited to that facility.
You should have come.
Yeah, I probably should have. We got buried with meetings. The Pot Brothers and I, we were in meetings with a lot of different people, and we had a great time. But I think one of the big things that people go around saying is, oh, I have the biggest grow, or I have the best grow, or I have this, or I have that, and instead of I used to be victim of that. I would tell people, oh, my grow's huge, and I got this. I kind of stopped saying like, I'm a great grower, or I have this and that, because what ends up happening is you just sound like you're throwing smoke in the air.
Are you still hands-on?
Day to day, I am. I unfortunately don't get to touch the plants that often anymore. I think we have 230 employees or something, but
wow,
that's great.
But I'm very hands-on in the business sense as far as direction of the company and things of that nature.
And then what type of employees do you have? I mean...
I have everything from all the way down to, an entry-level trimmer, all the way up to a full executive team. I have in-house counsel. I have a full marketing team, HR.
Lots of regulations to keep up with.
And the people who grow, they have backgrounds in growing, just experience and/or college?
Well, actually, what I've found over the years is that I preferred to find people that didn't have cannabis cultivating experience. And I'd hire someone that was very smart and that maybe understood horticulture. And then I could train them the ways that I felt were, the path of least resistance for growing the cannabis.
You give them the formula.
Correct.
That's it. Just follow this script.
So my director that oversees my cultivations, he actually worked for a company called Worldwide Wheat, not weed.
Yeah.
And he oversaw about 16 greenhouses around the world, and he grew wheat in different environments. Wow. So when I found him, I just said, "Come with me."
Yeah, good, smart,
great.
I think it's super important. Super important for people to get out there, and if you're going to get into this industry, take massive action, get involved. But find like-minded individuals, find people that are going to actually drive you in the right direction instead of people that are going to derail you and tell you just a bunch of hoopla that doesn't make any sense, because there's a lot of misinformation, especially legal advice. I mean,
a lot of people blowing smoke.
You're blowing a whole lot of it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Jim Fitzpatrick, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Excellent, thank you. Good to see all my brothers.
Yes, it's good to see you. I feel like we've had lunch the last 3 days in a row.
Because we have.
This is true. Tell us what's going on in your career. Give your fellow Costa Masons, and Newport Beach. Tell them a little bit about who you are, real quick, just to recap.
Sounds great. I am a retired chairman of the Costa Mesa Planning Commission. A bit accidental in the industry. When I was regulating potentially nuisance uses, the industry pulled me aside and said, "How can you help? How can you use your powers for good for this industry?" Because it really wanted to be regulated. And so that's how I got on. I worked with Councilmember Monahan to craft an ordinance pre-MRSA that contemplated many of the uses outside of dispensary. And most recently, Measure X passed. We had 5-0 vote at the council. We had industry support, and clearly that's what the community wanted, because they gave it enough votes, more than any other council member. So effective immediately, Measure X has passed.
Congratulations. Let's give him a round of applause for that.
Thank you. So, Blue, I actually have a question for Matthew. As adult use is passed in Nevada,
yes,
and weed's never been a problem, obtaining weed in Nevada, how does off-premise compete with the casino?
Well, the casinos are regulated federally, and so we've met with the gaming commissioner. And his stance is that until the feds change their stance, that he's going to stick side by side with them. So we're still working through the different challenges, if you will, of working with the resorts and the casinos. But at this point in time, they're showing zero interest.
Is delivery permissive?
It's not allowed.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say no.
Unless what has to happen is your address on your ID has to match where you're delivering to currently.
Got it.
Obviously that eliminates everyone at the
casino.
All the casinos.
Need a casino friendly.
I'm leaving no stone unturned.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So do
Congratulations.
you see?
There's some property down on South Vegas Boulevard I bet we could pack the place.
There's this little thing called the gaming corridor, and it's a big oval around Las Vegas
Right.
Boulevard, and there's a lot of things that are and aren't allowed in that oval.
Yeah, definitely.
So my
true.
facility's maybe about 100 feet outside that oval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big is your facility?
That's 165,000 feet.
So, can we visit it?
Yeah, go online right now. Marijuana Mania Episode 2. You can see I give Burner a tour throughout the facility. And also, Wiz has a little YouTube channel called Day to Day.
Big shout out to Burner and Wiz. Those are the family members right there.
For sure.
We love them guys.
Good people.
Very good people. That's the plug right
So,
there.
Jim,
Yes.
what else are you working on?
So now that Measure X has passed, there's been interest from the community to get the permits and the licenses, right? Everyone has a
Are
desire.
the applications out yet?
The city will start issuing applications when they come back in January the 3rd. So now we're positioning some of the properties, some of the properties that have been tied up. Some of the properties are available for lease. It's pretty tight geography over there. But it's an exciting time to pursue this within the city. It's, as you guys know, the jobs are amazing here, right? As is reasonable tax meaningful to some of these cities who are looking at structural budget deficits. So it'll be exciting to generate revenue for the city, create some great jobs, and work with the industry that really wants a level of legitimacy. And it's been exciting to see some of the white lab coats starting to approach the industry, some of the industry veterans starting to come to Costa Mesa. There's been all this discussion about the high desert that was supposed to deliver the benefit of speed, right? They were supposed to be there early, and it's only a handful of operations that are currently in place. So we think
very few.
We think in Costa Mesa we can be a little bit disruptive in the industry, and the things that are happening in Costa Mesa will be reshaping Southern California, which is the largest addressable market in the world for cannabis, right? Look at all those people. All these trends and everything are coming from California, so it's a really exciting time to be in the business.
So Measure X is allowing cultivation and manufacture.
So Measure X does not allow cultivation, does not allow retail dispensing. But it's the underlying foundational elements of everything else, from analytical testing to processing to manufacturing to distributing and transportation.
Is that only CO2 manufacturing, or?
It is non-specific on whether it's butane hash oil, volatile organics, or CO2.
Well, the state has licensing for volatile and non-volatile.
They do. So what we're trying to do in Costa Mesa is position ourselves to get the local license, so that then they can pursue the state licenses.
Correct, because they need it's a catch-22. You have to have the city license to get the state license.
Absolutely, yeah. Right. So we're now taking, they're fairly large properties, and the uses that have been approved are on a smaller scale. So we're starting to carve up some of these larger warehouses. But it's really interesting to see all the innovation that's occurring and the collaboration and the partnerships as well.
Jim, what kind of education do you have?
I went to a prep school in New England. I attended the University of Notre Dame. I'm an international business executive for a company that was traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Right. So you can see my profile is a little bit different. I do want to recognize that I do stand on the shoulders of those that have gone before, right? Those that have been in this industry, that have pushed government to change the way that they do business. And so I stand on those shoulders. But I also, yeah.
Let's get this guy.
A lot of people forget that.
That was like a trick question. You know what I mean?
This is not an overnight sensation by any means. Not an overnight sensation.
No, man.
Right, and it allows me to do the things that I do, where I don't risk going to jail trying to help with my land use and regulatory schemes for the industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I also think I work for Johnson & Johnson, and I sold Tylenol, and I came to California to get the marketplace ready for the billion-dollar prescriptions that would soon be available over the counter. So it's exciting for me to take all my skill sets and bring that to the industry and help them along. I can't grow. I don't know the difference between a pound that's $3,500 or $1,500, right? But I do know how to walk you into City Hall and have a dialogue and achieve the desired outcome of the license and the legitimacy that the industry is looking for.
Sure.
Excellent. What we need.
You know, I knew that you have a long history of education, and that's why I asked you that question. Like I said, it was like a trick question, you know. No, but right, the layup. That was the layup. But and it's funny because the reason I point that out is because, again, it's finding like-minded individuals. You know, I don't have a college education, but I grew up on the streets of the Hard Knock, right? And and I learned how to get involved in this industry. And I think it was a blessing to find people like yourselves, to find, some of the partners